My 34th birthday was meant to be a joyful night, a simple celebration filled with friends, family, music, and laughter. I had spent the entire week getting everything ready for the party at our home. My wife, Emily, insisted she take care of the guest list, the playlist, and the decorations. She said she wanted to make it a night I would never forget. Looking back, she was right, just not in the way I ever imagined. The house glowed with warm lights. Guests arrived smiling, and for the first hour, everything felt perfect. I truly believed I was surrounded by love. Emily looked incredible in a deep blue dress that fit her flawlessly, drifting through the party as if she owned the room. Watching her enjoy herself always made me happy. She laughed, chatted, poured drinks, and made sure everyone was having fun. I felt lucky to call her my wife. But there was one thing she never mentioned. She had invited her ex-boyfriend Jason, supposedly by accident. At least that's the story she gave me. When he walked in, confident and smiling like he belonged there, my stomach tightened. Still, I trusted Emily. She told me it was nothing, that they were just old friends. I should have listened to my instincts right then. As the night went on, the music got louder and someone suggested a slow dance. Couples filled the living room, laughing and swaying to a soft song. I was chatting with two guests when I realized Emily wasn't beside me anymore. I scanned the room and froze. There she was, right in the center of the dance floor, dancing with Jason. Not just dancing, but holding him close. His hands rested on her waist, her arms draped around his neck, her head tilted in the way she once looked only at me. My heart dropped so fast I thought my legs might give out. It was my birthday. My house. My wife. And she chose him. I stood there, numb, while guests tried not to stare. Some whispered. Some looked away. One person nudged their partner, murmuring, "Isn't that his wife?" Still, Emily kept dancing, kept smiling, acting as though I didn't exist. When the song ended, she didn't even walk over to me. She laughed at something Jason said, still holding onto his arm. That was the moment something inside me shifted. Not with rage, with clarity. I didn't confront her. I didn't make a scene. I didn't ask a single question. I walked down the hallway, grabbed my keys, and quietly slipped out of my own birthday party without saying a word. The cold night air hit me, but strangely, it felt like relief. As I drove, I didn't scream or cry. I felt hollow. The humiliation was too heavy to fully feel yet. I pulled over near a quiet lake, sat on a bench, and stared at my reflection in the dark water. How did I become the man whose wife danced with her ex at his birthday party? For the first time since we married, I realized I didn't recognize Emily anymore. About half an hour later, my phone filled with calls and messages, first from guests, then from Emily. I ignored all of them. But then a message from my best friend Mark appeared. "Bro, you need to come back. Something happened. You'll want to hear this." My chest tightened. I didn't know what he meant, but I knew it wasn't good. When I returned, the party was chaos. People were shouting. Emily was sobbing. Jason had disappeared. Everyone glanced at me with wide, stunned eyes. Mark rushed over and said, "Dude, after you left, Jason tried to kiss her in front of everyone and she slapped him so hard the music stopped." I blinked. "She did what?" He nodded. "Yeah. Hard." Then she started screaming that she never wanted him there. But he wasn't done. Apparently, another guest overheard Jason bragging earlier that Emily had been calling him for weeks, telling him she was unhappy in our marriage, hinting she might want to get back with him. He claimed she invited him. And when he tried to kiss her, he said loudly, "You told me you missed me." Half the party heard it. That's when everything spiraled. Emily broke down crying, begging people not to believe him, insisting she never said any of it. But the damage was already done. Everyone had watched her dance with him. Everyone saw me walk out. And now they saw her falling apart. When she finally came up to me, mascara streaked down her face, she whispered desperately, "Please, please don't leave." I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I asked only one question. If I hadn't walked out, would you have stopped dancing with him? She froze. No answer. No denial. Not even a lie. Her silence was louder than any confession. I walked past her and began collecting some of my things. She clung to my arm, crying, apologizing, begging. It was just a dance. I never meant to hurt you. But all I could remember was how she didn't stop until she realized there were consequences. Not during the dance. Not afterward. Only when I left. I told her quietly, tonight wasn't a mistake. It was the truth coming out. That line hit her harder than anything. She collapsed on the couch, sobbing uncontrollably while guests stood around awkwardly. Some offered help. Some whispered that I deserved better. And for the first time in years, I actually believed them. I didn't go back home that night. I stayed at Mark's place. Emily called until 4 in the morning, leaving voicemails full of excuses, regret, and desperation. But the truth was simple. She wanted attention, validation, and drama. And she got all three, just not the way she imagined. By morning, my mind was made up. I needed space. I needed clarity. And I needed respect, something she clearly couldn't give. Days later, Emily finally admitted she'd been chasing the feeling of being young again. Seeing Jason made her act foolish for a moment. But being foolish at the expense of your partner's dignity isn't harmless. It's betrayal. Today, we're separated. And every year when my birthday comes, I remember the night she chose to dance with her past, and I chose to walk toward my future.